watching SparkleKaeyaa, and today I'm going to be doing part 4 of my COVID-19 informational video series. To watch the other 3 videos, there will be linked in the eye above as well as the description box down below. Be sure to watch all the videos in the series, and let's get this video started. Let's talk about the COVID-19 vaccine that has just recently come out. Well, first of all, a vaccine is an antibody generation technique that protects from the infection and viruses. And believe it or not, you need to be infected with the actual virus to make those antibodies. Antibodies are natural reactions from our bodies to fight these foreign infections. Alright, since we know the definition of antibodies and what vaccines do, let's see what they're all about. In our lifetime, we learn about DNA and cells at least once. But in case you guys forgot, here is a quick recap of what DNA, RNA, and the different forms of RNA are. Well, first of all, DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It contains code for a person's genotypes or physical features like hair color, eye color, and a person's height. The helical structure of DNA, which is like a recipe book that holds the instructions or code for making all the proteins in our bodies, is quite amazing. While DNA is way more popular for doing the work in making us who we are, the key component that a lot of people don't know is RNA. RNA, or ribonucleic acid, has 3 different forms. The mRNA, or the messenger RNA, collects the 3-letter code from the DNA and then takes it to the cytoplasm of the cell, where the tRNA, or the translation RNA, translates the code, leaving amino acids that start to make a protein chain. This is where the companies creating the vaccine are focusing on, the mRNA. The vaccine contains viral snippets from the COVID-19 virus. The only change from the virus and the vaccine is that the vaccine doesn't contain the full mRNA code. It doesn't contain the part of multiplication and self-destruction of the host cell. The scientifically changed virus is packed into slippery pods of lipids so that it can easily slide into the cells around the lymph nodes, since that's where most of the immune cells are located. Hence, the injection is administered intramuscularly in the upper arm. But the spike proteins on their own are considered a good vaccine target. Back to how the vaccine works, the immune cells come along and perceive the spike protein as if the body has been infected. That kicks off a sequence of events that leads to the creation of antibodies and other defenses. Now, since the body has developed these antibodies and other defenses, it will most likely be ready when the COVID-19 virus hits again. We are talking about how COVID-19 vaccines work, and to really understand how the virus works, we need to know how it affects the body. COVID-19 is a respiratory illness that usually affects the lungs, but it can also affect the intestine and the spleen, as it makes the most damage there. Once the virus is in your body, it targets the epithelial cells which outline the inside of your lungs. The epithelial cells have ACE2 receptors on the outside, which is essentially what connects to the virus. Before the two can connect, the spike protein, which surrounds the virus, needs to have some space to connect to the cell. For that to happen, a protein-chomping enzyme, aka proteins from the host cell, needs to cut part of the spike protein's edge so that it can connect with the ACE2 receptors. Once connected, the virus sends its genetic material inside the cell. The code tells the cell to multiply the virus inside the host cell until one final code tells it to self-destruct. After the cell dies, the viruses inside are set free to continue the process of its multiplication and self-destruction of the host cells. Around day 10, the virus fills the lungs up. When the T cells, aka the immune cells, finally come, it overproduces itself and not only kills the virus cells, it kills the good ones too. This makes a lot of pus and debris in the lungs, and since there's no way to take it out, this causes pneumonia and inflammation. Pneumonia is caused by your air sacs getting filled with pus and debris, making it hard for you to breathe. In the race to find the cure, many companies are touting about their 90% and above vaccine efficacy. Pfizer and Moderna are 2 companies that have received FDA emergency use authorization. Pfizer has partnered with BioNTech to come out with its COVID-19 vaccine. From its tests, it's said to be 95% effective. Pfizer has actually come up with 2 versions of the COVID-19 vaccine. One version contains 2 advantages in it. The vaccine can produce antibodies against COVID-19, as well as create immune cells, also known as T cells, that respond to the virus. It also has fewer side effects such as fevers and fatigue. The only downsides that it has is that it needs to be chilled to -70 degrees Celsius, which is -94 degrees Fahrenheit, and you need to take 2 doses of the vaccine. The Moderna vaccine is said to be 94.5% effective, and this too needs to be kept in a cold storage. Medicago and GSK have announced the start of phase 2/3 clinical trials of the adjuvanted COVID-19 vaccine candidates. Phase 3 part of their clinical trial will enroll over 30,000 volunteers worldwide. Other companies involved in mass producing the vaccine are Novavax, Johnson&Johnson, and Sanofi. There are 7 Indian pharma companies racing to develop the vaccine within months. Adar Poonawala, the CEO of Serum Institute of India, has said that his company has entered a manufacturing partnership with AstraZeneca to produce and supply 1 billion doses of the vaccine being developed at the Oxford University. Even after all these companies are coming out with their own vaccines, a lot of people say they're not going to take it. And I guess that's a reasonable choice, since so much is unknown about the side effects of the vaccines. To date, safety data on the vaccine has been collected from 38,000 participants enrolled in an ongoing phase 3 clinical trial. The most commonly reported side effect from the vaccine is injection site reaction. Other commonly reported side effects of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine include flu-like symptoms like fatigue, headache, and muscle pain that can last for several days. The FDA says people allergic to the vaccine are not allowed to take it, and clinical trials have not included pregnant women or children under 12. Even if people get the virus and then take the vaccine, they are still prone to getting the virus because for some populations, it stops being effective after 2 to 3 weeks. The first person to get a COVID-19 vaccine was a 90-year-old woman in the UK. People ages 75 and over and frontline emergency workers are first in line to get the vaccine. Here's an update. A new variant has emerged in the UK as well as here in Colorado thanks to the viral mutations. Around May 16, 2020, FDA authorized stay-at-home COVID-19 testing kits for emergency use. Since then, many companies have produced their own COVID-19 testing kits. Alright, that's about it, but before I go, I'll leave you a few questions to ponder on. Is the vaccine the right solution and cure? How effective is plasma therapy in comparison to the vaccine? When will the entire global population get vaccinated, given that the older generation and first responders and healthcare workers are first in line to receive it? And finally, what are your thoughts on getting vaccinated? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And one last thing, stay home, stay safe, and stay strong. Within a matter of months. Within a matter of
months.
I said within in a
Yeah, I know. Kaeyaa, throat went dry. Chal, UK.
Here's an update. A new variant has emerged in now, since the antibodies and defenses, Pfizer has partnered with BioNTech to come up with its product. Pfizer has the virus and I am robbing it of the COVID-19 virus. It doesn't contain the part of self-destruction from the cell and the multiplication part.
Go again with this. It doesn't contain the cell destruction. I'm continuing to record.
Colorado. In the last few weeks.